We have a real riot in NFT news as Starbucks teases its new loyalty program. A Cryptopunk gets split into 56,000 pieces, and the NFT market projected to reach $200 billion by 2030. And for our first story, we have a controversial one as Tiffany sells out all 250 NFTiffs for about $50,000 each. The reason this is so controversial is just like this is all the bad parts of capitalism inserting themselves into the NFT market. My new friend Kane Mayfield on Speakeasy, the new show on LADZ City, he was talking about this the other day that like this is the same thing that happened to hip hop in the 80s or the black bluegrass movements of the 1950s and 60s. They got hijacked by capitalism, turned, whitewashed and gentrified into their own thing, and then they just hijacked this, intellectual property from this community and then utilized it for their own financial gain. And we're seeing it here too, where Tiffany is just coming in and shaking people down for money. And honestly, if you're the type of person that needs to spend $50,000 on one of these things to impress your friends, then you've clearly surrounded yourself with the wrong types of people. You are on a path towards squandering away your what could be generational wealth, and your children, your children's children will not have the skills necessary to hold on to that money because they'll be watching you spend $50,000 on an NFTiff. So this is just all the worst parts of capitalism, trying to hijack this cool thing, NFTs, that us grassroots people came up with a couple years ago. And so shame on you, Tiffany, and shame on anyone who buys these things. Hot takes from your fun uncle. Starbucks teases Web3 updates to its popular rewards program. Yet again, another multi-billion-dollar corporation who is hijacking this idea to their own financial gain. And we're going to see more of this moving into the holiday season, where everyone who has a loyalty program, McDonald's, Jack in the Box, Burger King, even hotels, Hyatt and Marriott with their rewards programs, we will see this NFT Web3 integration. And again, it's just a new way to shake us down for money. And they're doing it quite successfully. So these snakes hide in plain sight, and I want you, my nieces and nephews, to stay vigilant. It's just the bad parts of capitalism trying to shake out your generational wealth. Do not go along with those shape-shifting lizard elites. Animoca Brands becomes a primary investor of Liberty Gaming. On the other hand, Animoca Brands is a company that I have my utmost respect for, and I will promote them because they are blazing trails. They are pouring gas on this fire for us grassroots movers. They are giving money to these companies who would have otherwise been squashed out or picked up by larger conglomerates like Google or Apple. So Animoca is pouring money on these individual companies so that they can do this play-to-earn game movement the right way. So all hail Animoca Brands. Thank you for what you're doing. I hope you don't turn evil one day, but for right now, you've got my respect and this fun uncle's 5 Hawaiian shirt seal of approval. So keep being you, Animoca Brands. A slice of the punk, Cryptopunk NFT to be split into 56,000 individual pieces. This is a common tool used in the stock market right now where like Apple stock does a split, every couple years. I think Tesla just did a 20-for-1 split of its stock. And if they didn't do it, the stock would be worth $100,000, if not $1 million a share. And so splitting it into smaller pieces allows access to people who are not as socioeconomically fortunate. And it's kind of a goal for them. And, I can pick up a couple pieces of it this year, a couple pieces of it next year, with the hopes of one day owning a full piece of the pie. And so this is great in 2 ways because it keeps the price of CryptoPunks high while also allowing access to people who had, there's a significant barrier to entry into buying these things. So splitting up 56,000 ways means that guys like you and me, us schlubs, can finally afford a piece of the castle. NFT market projected to reach $200 billion in 2030. Outrageous news to think about because you got to extrapolate the math here. For this to happen, Ethereum would have to be worth a couple $1 trillion each. And that would mean Bitcoin is worth a couple $1 trillion each. The whole market cap is in the tens of trillions of dollars. And that would mean NFTs have a piece of the pie. $200 billion is a little bit more realistic for them to have. If you think about the current status of things where the whole market is about $1 trillion, for NFTs to have 20% of that, that's unrealistic. But for NFTs to have 5%, or 2% of a multi-trillion-dollar pie, that seems more realistic to me. So this is just promising news that in the next 10 years, some really exciting things are going to happen with the market. Explosive growth and generational wealth will be created. Just pick your horses and make sure you diversify because the money is clearly pouring into this space. And my final story here, I want to end with a laugher because CryptoDickbutts, Ethereum's NFTs surge 690%. There's a lot of jokes going on here simultaneously. First, CryptoDickbutts, that's funny. Also, 690%. No way it was exactly 690%. If it was, that's some kind of crazy manipulation, or I think this is just a journalistic ploy to get you to click on an article. It might have only been 500, and it might have actually been 750. But for them to pick 690, I see what they're doing. And I think this is just another one of those things like, when a community comes together and they love a joke and they want to perpetuate it, things like this happen. Miracles do happen. So that's why I always take into consideration the audience, you know, like the group of people who are behind a project can seriously sway things, a la Dogecoin and Shiba Coin, where the community just came out and they took this joke, a laughing stock of a cryptocurrency, and they made it worth several $billion each. And that's why you just do not want to write off a project without looking at its community first. And the CryptoDickbutts even makes me smile. So I think they're going to be around for a while. Definitely not the next 10 years, but they are going to they are going to survive this bear market at the very least and be a joke we are talking about to our grandkids in the future.